This operation is a national scandal.
The police seem to have restricted my access.
We can't publish this. It could blow up in our face.
The government abandoned me. Am I supposed to leave him out there to rot?
Antoine, Jim, greetings from Las Vegas. How are you guys?
Hi, Jeffrey. Good, thank you.
Well, Jim, I think the last time we saw each other was a few months ago at Sundance. We keep meeting at Sundance every year.
Yes. Well, you know, this is, that'll be, we met at the last Sundance ever.
Just about. Yeah, it's how it's starting to seem, isn't it? So, well, anyway, Most Wanted, I saw it last night. Fantastic. It's got drug addicts, drug dealers, dirty cops, Thai prison, investigative journalists who break all the rules. It's got something for everybody, and it all really happened.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies where it has you know, the elements of entertainment, but because the director Daniel Roby is such a thoughtful, sincere guy, it has a lot of subtext to it. It's not heavy-handed. It's not speeching. It's not doing a bunch of speeches. It's telling the story, but there's some questions that come up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, how lucky are we that we didn't end up like the character of Danielle? You know, he experienced a lot of bad luck.
And Antoine, your character of Daniel, he's a drug addict and a heroin addict, and he's been clean for 6 months. And there was that heart-wrenching scene where he was offered by you, Jim, of all people, by Picker, where he offered him drugs for the first time and he broke his sobriety, and you had a tear coming down your face. And I was wondering if you could talk about that scene.
That scene, I felt like that scene was really special for Daniel Robbie, the director. He kept on telling me how much this is the breaking point, I think, where Alain Olivier, from his side of the story, he really, like, he made a switch. He was, you know, he had a job. He was planting trees in BC. He rented a place with his friend Michael, and then Michael, excuse my language, but fucked him up in a way. And so he then ended up on this boat with the character of Jim. And I think the tear is like that breaking point where he is just going down the wrong path at that moment, taking again that drug. So yeah, that scene was a really important moment for Daniel.
And Jim, I have to tell you, I was surprised. I know you're for a comedy. I had no idea you had a dramatic side. And the look of your character of Picker, did you have discussions on his wardrobe? And because, I mean, the opening scene with him on the boat, you were the swarthy, like, swinger. And I was like, this is never going to work. And within 10 minutes, I mean, I was sucked into your character.
Well, by the way, I would say that Daniel Roby was all over this. Like, I wanted to do, you know, some of it as an actor, you want to have input, but in the end, you want to be a good soldier to serve the story that the director and the writer are creating. And so, but Daniel had very strong opinions on my appearance, what I was wearing and stuff like that. And I was completely deferential, and I loved it because I agreed with everything he proposed. So it's like, it was
I noticed you were eating a lot. You were eating chicken wings in one scene, and
yeah.
You always had scenes where you were eating something. So,
well, some of that's the collaboration. I just think that there's something, I mean, not to, you know, I think there's something about a level of comfort that that if someone's eating in front of someone, that, because Picker's always manipulating Daniel, and some of that is he uses the comfort of food, and even in the familiarity when I'm dealing with the Royal Mounted Police at breakfast, it's about the casualness, the familiarity that I believe Picker is using, or I had my Picker disarming these people in the casualness, or, you know, like with the police, it was the casualness with how I order. And then with Daniel, it was the fact that like he didn't even interrupt me eating. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird.
And Antoine, actually shooting in Thailand, that scene where you had the prison fight and it was all like handheld, all one shot. Tell me about the choreography of that scene, because it seemed pretty intense.
It was pretty intense. I enjoyed myself actually during the shooting date of that. But we had like 3 days of rehearsing this specific scene, and I got to meet this Thailand stunt coordinator and the 2 other Thai actors, and that by the way speaks zero English. So we had to find a way to like all worked out together, and the result is really nice. And for me, it was such a nice challenge to finally get to. I love having physical scenes as an actor, big like stunts and everything like that. I enjoy it so much, and in that movie, it was perfect for that. So yeah, I was really happy with the result.
And Jim, getting in character since it's 1989, having that brick cell phone, did that really help Picker come through for you?
Well, gosh, there's so many elements of that time period that seem comedic, right? And it was, for me, it wasn't that long ago. Like I remember the cars, I remember all that stuff. So, often playing a character, you can't have any judgment about what they're motivated by or their opinions, because if you do, then you end up acting. So I remember thinking, I'm not going to think that this phone is weird looking, because to Picker, it's not weird.
And Antoine, working with Josh Hartnett, tell me about doing scenes with him.
Horrible, totally horrible. No, I was really nervous to work with him at first. But the first time we met in Thailand, in Bangkok, at the production office over there, he was just this super calm, down-to-earth guy that I felt like was just so like ready to work with me, and like he just shake my hand, hey bro, he called me brother, and like for me, I was just, like I said, I was so nervous, and he kind of break that thing for the both of us, and we had the time to rehearse the few scenes that we have together in the movie with Daniel. So I got to know him a bit. The only thing I wish I would say is that we could have more scenes together.
And Jim, Stephen McHattie, he's known in America from Seinfeld. He's a psychiatrist that was trying to date Elaine, and here he is in the movie. I know he has a long career, but I couldn't believe that was him from Seinfeld. So what was it like working with him? He was tough.
It's really interesting, because I didn't know that. I didn't even bring that up. I would, some of it is what's so great about the experience of working on a movie is you often meet people and all you know them as is their character. And it's such a short window compared to, like, say, working on a TV show so it's like my experience with Stephen was just him as that guy. So I didn't know him. I knew that he was a very successful actor, but it was just all about the experience of the scenes. And, it's interesting, like this movie was, it was an indie, but it has big budget feels at times. And so, but in the end, there was something about this experience that was so rewarding. And I love the indie film experience because it is truly collaborative.
And then something uniquely Canadian about this film too. It had a totally Canadian feel to it.
Yeah, there is something, well, by the way, I mean, obviously the crew and with everyone on the film, with the exception of me or Josh, was Canadian. And the crew was completely Quebecois. So like everyone was, spoke French, or French was their first language. So it was a very fascinating, immersive experience for me.
Well, Antoine and Jim, thank you so much for talking to me today. I really enjoyed the film. I wish you all the best of luck. And when things get better, come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you.
Definitely.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Jim, I'll see you around.